Our natural environment is like a life support system. The oceans, glaciers, and waterways, the air we breathe, the land we use for food and resources, and the flora and fauna that form the intricate web of life. Life would not be possible without all of these things existing in harmony. Everything we do at home, at work, and everywhere in between impacts on our environment. Consumers and organizations at all levels are increasingly aware of their environmental impact, so having a good environmental record can give a business a considerable advantage in the modern marketplace. Yet despite the momentum towards more sustainable economies, we are still using resources and producing waste faster than the environment can handle.
Hi viewers, Eid Mubarak, and today's guest is Natalie Jane Thomas, right? And she basically lives in the Isle of Wight, United Kingdom. She's really passionate about mental health. Hi Natalie, how are you?
Hi, how are you? Happy Eid to everybody in Pakistan, as I'm aware that's currently happening for you guys there. I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, we are all fine. Our viewers are watching us and they want something productive by our discussion, and we are here to learn from each other. So please share your achievements, goals in your life, and how you are influencing the world.
So my name is Natalie Thomas, and I live on the Isle of Wight in the United Kingdom. So for anyone who doesn't know where the Isle of Wight is, we are a tiny little island just south of Southampton, and we're about 2.5 hours away from London. The current population on the island's about 140,000 people. I'm a mum. I've got a 5-year-old and a 14-year-old, and I work as a community carer in the West Wight community, supporting people by going into their own homes, just helping like the elderly who might need a bit more time and effort to give them an easier life, if you know what I mean. And my achievements so far, so I've been a Toastmaster 2 months, and I've nearly finished my level 1 path of the project that I'm doing. And my other achievements, so in 2017 I dedicated a whole year to walking for charity. So I set a goal of walking 5,000 miles for charity. People thought I was absolutely nuts. They were like, nah, you are not going to be able to walk 5,000 miles in a year. It's impossible. I was like, well, you haven't met me yet. And I had a lot of negativity around me. Like, my environment potentially could have been a demotivator. But then I realised, no, I'm going to use that negative energy and use it to motivate me. And I successfully achieved my goal 6 weeks early, and I raised £900 for charity. So that's one of my really big achievements. So I thought I'd mention that.
Okay, so it is basically far away from the UK actually,
Not really.
and it's a hill. Oh,
It's not really far as such. You have to get a ferry from either Southampton, Portsmouth, or Lymington, and the car ferries take at least an hour to get from the mainland to the island. So you could say we're far, but we're not too far, like say Guernsey and Guernsey, because they're other islands, and then you've got like the Isle of Man. That's one of the other islands around the United Kingdom, but I'm not too sure of the distances from, let's say, Liverpool to the Isle of Man.
okay, so what is special about the Isle of Wight, the area, the people about there, and what is the specialty, what is the culture of Isle of Wight there?
So the Isle of Wight, so you could say with the Isle of Wight community, we're behind the mainland because we don't have a lot of investment and the pace of living is so relaxed. It's great because I've lived in London, so I've experienced the busy, crazy city life. And the Isle of Wight's really rural, and we've got the coast, we've got the beaches. So island living is in a way what you could believe is an island living, if you know what I mean. That you have to get a ferry to get here, you've got to have a ferry to get off, you've got the beach. The weather in the summer's amazing. The last couple of days have actually been really, really good. And yeah, I love island life. I wouldn't move off the island in a hurry because crime here is a lot lower than the mainland. So if we're talking about environment, being a mum, the Isle of Wight is a good, positive, safe environment to bring your children up in. So
Okay, so what is the level of education between UK main London and the Isle of Wight?
so
Isn't there any problem of the education that you normally you have in the UK basically and in the Isle of Wight? Or is there any good education system or for similar education system in the UK?
mm-hmm. So on the Isle of Wight, we don't have a like brick and mortar university here. The like brick and mortar education building we've got here is the Isle of Wight College. If you wanted to go to a university, you'd either have to go to Southampton, Portsmouth, or Bournemouth. But then you've also got the flexibility to do like degrees or masters or anything like that through the Open University, which is digital based. So
Okay.
I think with the power of the World Wide Web, even though I live on an island, you can still access degrees, but it depends on the degree to the level of external recognition it will bring.
Okay. So it seems that there is no education, but the World Wide Web education digital system is far more better than you can access from the Isle of Wight.
Absolutely, because the thing is, I'm doing a degree at the moment, and I'm doing that through the Open University. Because as a mum, I wouldn't be able to commute to Portsmouth and do my study in there, come back, and it'd just be a nightmare. Whereas I've got the flexibility to do a degree at home, be a mum, spend family time, do it at a slower pace, but still continue my education, and that's really important. So
Okay, so you want to give your children the better environment and the you want to
absolutely,
give you, yeah.
absolutely,
Okay,
because
okay.
I think this is something that I love about these interviews that are being conducted on Facebook, because I'm a British mum. I live on the Isle of Wight. I'm connecting with people in Pakistan, Bangladesh, the States. I'm learning about your culture. I'm taking your own knowledge and I'm telling my daughter, hi, Gia, look, mummy's spoken to somebody in Pakistan today and the weather was raining. It's like that knowledge is so much more valuable than any textbook will ever be because it's lived experience. So this is why I really enjoy connecting with people, because I'm passing on the knowledge that I get from, like, say, our conversation, and I'm giving it to her.
That's great. We are honored that you like us and you want to communicate with us and with the Asians and you said Pakistani and Bangladeshi and we are honored basically. Yeah, thank you so much. And uh, what do you say about the people who bypasses these health, safety, and environment type things in in their lives? Basically, in the Asia, they don't care about the health, safety, and environment, and they don't prioritize these things in your life, in their lives. So what would you emphasize them, that how they actually prioritize health, safety, and environment in any type of work, like riding, like driving, like in on the construction area? And basically it is very important to adopt health, safety, environment in our lives. So
Absolutely.
what do you emphasize as
It's a difficult one in some respects because I've not done a lot of reading about, like, say, Pakistan culture, but I've been doing a lot of reading about Bangladesh, for example. And I saw the living standards and, like, environment children my daughter's age have to deal with on a daily basis. And I'm thinking to myself, rightio, you've had COVID that has completely annihilated this globe, made everybody skint. Skint is a British word to say you've got no money. And it's a hard one because you need, I think, the Western culture to invest in, like, these, like, rural Pakistan communities or these rural Bangladesh communities, just to make those environments a bit more acceptable. Because, like, I was looking at these children, they're sitting on the floor eating food, and you're thinking to yourself, wow. And you think, is an environment, you'd want to do anything in your power to make it better for those people. And I think that I know from what I've seen on Facebook that a lot of Pakistanis, Bangladeshis are so passionate about education and knowledge. And I think what I'd want to see is, like, wages being better represented in those cultures, because then you're able to improve your living standards, you're able to improve your environment, and then in a way you're one step closer to leading a healthier life.
okay? Uh, so it is the prioritized thing in our life, health, safety, environment, and we should prioritize it. What do you say about the mental health of anybody? How can we adopt the exercise of the mind? And what do you say about mental health?
So I think, like I said earlier on this week, because we were talking about places in Pakistan are quite built up and urbanized. And I think when it comes to mental health, greenery and blue skies can have such a positive impact on how you feel. Because, say, for example, if I was to walk to the beach on a nice, bright, hot summer's day, half an hour later, I'm feeling rejuvenated, I'm feeling great. Whereas people, like, say, in Pakistan might not have that access. So what I suggested was, if people can get the opportunity to spend half an hour with nature, take some pictures to capture the scenery and capture that moment. And in a way, as a blogger, I always like to catch how I feel. So when I'm having those bad days, when I'm feeling absolutely rubbish, I can reconnect with how I felt. And then you kind of can feel that uplift back to feeling less negative. It's, in a way, trying to make the best out of a negative situation. I'm just really fortunate that I live in a rural environment with the beach, and I've got the best of everything, I think.
So you love the environment, and you love the mountains areas and the beach areas and the greenery, and that really help the mental health, improve the mental capabilities. And
100%, because they say, I'm very, very passionate at the fact that, depending on the situation, the person, and the reasons, medication doesn't fix, a problem, exercise and going for a walk is the best antidepressant that you will ever find. And it doesn't cost a thing. It doesn't cost a penny. It doesn't cost a pound. There is nothing stopping you going out and having a walk. And then it's positive as well because you've done something. You haven't sat in front of the TV stuffing your face full of crap and feeling negative. You've done something positive. So when you're thinking back to mindset, you can reconnect with that achievement you've made.
So you are basically, it seems that with that pollution environment, you don't want to live in that pollution environment, and you move from UK to Isle of Wight to adopt the calm, to
100%.
practice the calm and calmness and the betterment of your children, so that
Mm-hmm.
they can come to the better environment and live
Absolutely.
a healthy life, right?
It's like when I go over to the mainland, I can straight away just smell in the atmosphere the level of pollution because we don't have a motorway on the Isle of Wight. We don't get that high level of pollution you find in a city centre or a capital city, for example. So it's like I go over to Southampton and I can smell it literally the minute I get there. And it just makes me think, hallelujah, I am going back home to fresh air, because I think something as well what uplifts me is just having that fresh, clean air to breathe in, because it's just that natural release and just feeling refreshed.
Okay, so who is your mentor, Natalie? Would you like to share your mentor with us?
My mentor, I
Yeah.
literally, I've got, I kid you not, I've got a friend in Australia, and he is like my mentor because going into my personal life a bit, I've been a single parent 2.5 years, and when I left my previous relationship, I was in such a position I didn't know what to do, didn't have the confidence, and he was like, "Nah, I will be there for you, no matter what questions you have. I will listen and I will support you." And now, hand on my heart, believe I wouldn't have got to the position without him as my mentor. So I think, in a way, especially with personal development, you need somebody there that might have more lived experience because you're gaining from their knowledge. Because it's okay to read something from a textbook, but if you're listening to somebody's story, you're able to relate. And I find that really important.
Okay. And what do you like to eat, actually?
Okay,
Any favorite dish?
so I I'm in between, okay, because having a 5-year-old, it's really, really difficult because sometimes my daughter will be like, "Mummy, do you want to eat this?" And you don't want to say no to children. So I don't eat meat. I haven't eaten
Okay.
meat this year. I'm in between half vegan and half vegetarian because
Okay.
some things I miss. My favourite, I really like Vegemite, which is Australian. Vegemite, okay, it's like a yeast based product that you stick on toast. So definitely a Western breakfast dish, I would say.
Okay. So here in Pakistan, there is Eid, and we normally sacrifice, and we perform sacrifices, and then eat beef and meat, mutton type things,
Mm-hmm.
and And would you like to come Pakistan ever? Regarding the tourism in
It's
Pakistan is very much great, like
I
northern areas of Pakistan and K2 and you see the K2 base camp and the Murray Hill areas, and the you can say Swat and Nathia
Hmm.
Gali. They are very good areas to visit, and to you can tour Pakistan. There you will be happy to see the areas.
It's like I did a bit of research the other day on Wikipedia looking at the capital, Karachi. Is that right? The capital
Yeah.
city.
Uh,
And
the
I was
capital
like,
is basically Islamabad. The Pakistan's
yeah,
capital is Islamabad.
yeah,
The province capital is Karachi. Sindh
yeah.
province capital is Karachi. Yeah.
I knew it was something like that. And it seemed like really pretty, like the parts of the city, because what I really like, and I used a lot through lockdown, was Google Earth, because you can see anything on this planet, and it's really fascinating just to go to these new places and see different cultures, even though they're only like pictures. I think you can learn a lot from that. So I think one day in the future, I do want to go exploring, but it's just bringing my daughter along. But I think the way that I've adapted to it is going on Zoom, having conversations with people in those cultures, and reading about those cultures. So you kind of feel like you're there, but you're not.
Okay. So how do you find Pakistanis once they discuss you? What are your feelings regarding
But
Pakistanis?
I think the thing, like, because I have connected with a lot of Pakistanis, I absolutely admire people like Pakistanis, Bangladeshis that are trying to learn English, because it's not your native language. And I only know English, so I've never learned another language in my life. So it's like hats off to you guys for the work and effort you're putting in. And I think that's something else that I've seen is the importance of education, like Pakistanis and like Bangladeshis have, and that is phenomenal. You like see like on Facebook, you'll have a clinical psychologist or an engineer or somebody else in a really high paid job, and you're like, wow, that's amazing to see. So I've got a lot of respect for the Pakistani communities and like the Bangladesh communities that I'm connecting with.
Yeah, we are trying to learn English, and as well as we know about the Urdu, so we try hard for learning the English, and we love English language, so that because it has become international language, and
Mm,
we love to talk to the people like you,
mm,
and we learn a lot from you guys, and your basically the planning, your determination towards work, you are already grown in the like UK is already in 1700, UK has become the industrializing their area and their country.
mm,
When we were not industrializing, we did not adopt industrialization, and
mm,
in that era, 1700, they were building the infrastructure of the trains, and
mm,
in transportation infrastructure they have created due to the industrialization,
mm,
and you adopted early, but we adopted as well, but we delayed in a sense.
mm,
So we are trying hard for the betterment of our lives, and we are trying to be on a single platform all over the world,
mhm,
on the platform of the internet,
mhm,
via the internet. Internet is basically has become the global village to us, and has provided single platform for us. So it is really
yeah,
a tremendous platform to be sync together, and
mhm,
to talk together, and
mhm,
to work betterment of the life of
mhm.
each other. So
Absolutely, because
basically, people are made for people actually. Yeah, please, Natal.
yeah, yeah, because I think it's like I've seen a lot of these like interviews on Facebook, and I just think it's such a positive thing to do because it's connecting people together, people from
Yeah,
different cultures, different races, different backgrounds, and we're
yeah,
feeling together as humans. And I think that, especially with COVID, is such an important thing to do because the virus has affected everybody. It's affected the Christians, the Muslims, the Sikhs, you name it. It has affected you. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, I love watching these like videos from like people in like the States, Pakistan, because it's just bringing that equality together. And I think, especially in the world that we live in, what can become so negative, equality is important because we're human. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I'm a human and so are you. Why can't we be connected?
yeah, exactly. People are made for people, and they are made for love each other. They are made for betterment of each other, to uplift each other. So that is because we have to be connected to each other. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Natalie. I am really thankful to you. You spare sometimes from your precious time. Actually, you are actually living with your baby, and you have to be very careful about the timing of her sleeping. And yeah,
I think
so
there's
thank you so much again. Yeah,
nothing worse when you're on Facebook doing this and you've got a little person
yeah,
going, "Hi, mummy, what you doing?"
yeah,
But it's an absolute
yeah,
pleasure. Absolute
yeah.
pleasure to
Yeah,
finally have
it's really our
a
pleasure. Our audience, our platform, we are really thankful to you from the audience and from the our platform actually, that you spare some time. And what do you want to say to our nation, to our viewers, to our audience in 2 lines? What would you like to advise or emphasize something?
So I think what I'd want to advise the audience is reading what's happening in Australia with the second wave of the coronavirus slowly coming across the globe. Disconnect yourself from social media and stop reading these absolutely horrible media stories that are just pumping so much negativity out there. We know it's going to probably happen again. We've just got to stay positive so we can get through it. Just embrace the memories that you've got with your family and your friends. And I think, especially for this community that I'm connecting with, I want you all to enjoy your Eid celebrations because the virus affected my Easter. So it's like, I just want you guys in Pakistan to have a spiritual Eid, safe Eid, and just make loads of memories.
Okay. Thank you so much, Natalie.
No
We are again
worries.
thankful to you. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
No worries. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.